There is a version of you that God has been trying to bless for years, and every single morning you have been getting in the way of it without even realizing it. Not through sin, not through rebellion, through habits so small, so normal, so socially acceptable that you would never think to question them. Today, I want to open your eyes to something most Christians never connect to their spiritual life. We are going to talk about 7 morning habits that quietly block the blessings God has already prepared for you. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why some mornings feel empty no matter how hard you pray. Psalm 5 verse 3 says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." David understood something most of us have forgotten. The morning is not neutral. It is spiritually loaded. What you do with the first minutes of your day sets the atmosphere for everything that follows, including whether your spirit is positioned to receive what God is trying to give you. Habit 1. Waking up already anxious about the day ahead. This is the quiet habit that shapes your entire spirit before your feet even touch the floor. Think about what a normal morning actually looks like for most people. The alarm goes off. Before your eyes are even fully open, your mind is already running a checklist. Did I finish that report? Is there enough time to make breakfast for the kids before school? What if the bus is late again? What if that conversation with my husband from last night is not over yet? None of these thoughts are sinful. They are simply automatic. But they arrive first, and whatever arrives first sets the tone for everything after it. I once knew a woman in our church who loved God deeply, but every single morning before she prayed, before she opened her eyes fully, her mind was already racing through everything that could go wrong that day: the traffic, the deadline, the difficult conversation waiting for her at work. By the time she actually got to prayer, her spirit was already braced for disaster instead of open to blessing. Philippians 4 verse 6 tells us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, present your requests to God." Notice the order. Prayer comes before the day, not after the anxiety has already claimed it. When you let worry greet you before God does, you are handing the first and most sensitive part of your spirit to fear instead of faith. Habit 2. Skipping gratitude because nothing has happened yet. This is the habit that convinces you gratitude has to be earned before it can be given. Many believers wait to feel grateful until something good happens in their day. But that backwards thinking keeps you spiritually poor no matter how much God provides. Picture an ordinary Tuesday. Nothing dramatic is wrong. The bills are paid, mostly. The kids got to school. The job is still there. And because nothing extraordinary happened, gratitude never even crosses your mind. You get out of bed feeling flat, maybe a little tired, maybe a little bored with your own life, and you never once pause to notice that the roof over your head, the working car in the driveway, the food already in the fridge were all provisions you did not create yourself. I remember a season when I stopped thanking God in the morning simply because my circumstances felt unremarkable. Nothing was wrong, but nothing felt worth celebrating either. What I did not realize was that my silence was closing a door. Psalm 100 verse 4 says, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise." Thanksgiving is not the response to blessing. It is the entrance to it. A heart that will not give thanks for what it already has rarely recognizes new blessing when it arrives. Habit 3. Letting your phone set the tone of your spirit. This is the habit almost everyone has, and almost no one has examined its spiritual cost. Before prayer, before scripture, before a single word to God, the phone is already in your hand. You check messages from a group chat that has nothing to do with you. You see a coworker's complaint from last night. You scroll past a headline about something terrifying happening on the other side of the world. And within 90 seconds of waking up, your mind is already carrying other people's arguments, other people's opinions, other people's emergencies, before you have exchanged a single word with God. I lived this way for years, and I noticed my mornings always carried a low-grade static, a mental noise I could never quite shake, even hours later while sitting at my desk trying to focus. It was not until I removed my phone from the first 10 minutes of my day that I understood why. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Whatever gets access to your heart first shapes the filter through which you see everything else that day, including the blessings God places in front of you. If this message is already showing you a habit you recognize, brother, sister, please subscribe to this channel and write in the comments, "Lord, order my mornings." Now let us continue, because the next 4 habits are the ones that hide the deepest. Habit 4. Rehearsing yesterday's failures instead of receiving today's mercy. This is the habit that keeps yesterday's mistakes sitting at your table long after they should have left. Maybe you snapped at your spouse last night over something small. Maybe you lost your patience with your children after a long day. Maybe you said something in a meeting you regretted the second it left your mouth. And instead of waking up to receive a fresh start, you wake up replaying the scene on repeat, still carrying the shame from a day that already ended. Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23 tells us, "His mercies are new every morning." That word "new" is not decoration. It is a promise that yesterday's failure does not get to define today's portion. I once counseled a young man who woke up every morning replaying a mistake from months earlier, a business decision that had cost him money and pride. He was not sinning in that moment. He was simply refusing to release what God had already forgiven. And because his mind was occupied grieving the past, he consistently missed what God was doing in his present, new opportunities, new relationships, small answered prayers he barely noticed because his eyes were fixed backward instead of forward. Habit 5. Making decisions before praying about them. This is the habit that mistakes morning clarity for divine direction. You wake up feeling unusually confident, and within minutes you have sent the text you have been holding back for weeks, made the purchase you had been debating, or decided to end a friendship that has felt complicated, all before your feet have even hit the kitchen floor, let alone before a single moment of prayer. Proverbs 16 verse 3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." The word commit means to roll the weight onto someone else before you move forward. I made this mistake once with a decision that felt completely obvious at 7 in the morning. So obvious that I acted on it before breakfast, only to realize by evening that what I called clarity was simply untested emotion wearing the costume of certainty. Blessing often requires timing, and timing requires asking before acting, not acting and hoping it aligns with what God already had planned. Habit 6. Comparing your morning to someone else's highlight reel. This is the habit that turns the most private hour of your day into a public competition you never agreed to enter. You wake up, open your phone, and within the first 60 seconds you have seen a friend's engagement announcement, a former classmate's promotion, a stranger's perfectly organized kitchen, someone's testimony about an answered prayer you have been waiting years for yourself. And before you have had a single moment to remember who God made you to be, you already feel behind, forgotten, less than. Galatians 6 verse 4 says, "Each one should test their own work. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else." I have watched believers wake up spiritually stable and go to bed spiritually defeated, and the only thing that changed in between was 10 minutes of scrolling through other people's lives before breakfast. Comparison does not just steal your joy. It blinds you to the specific blessing God is quietly forming for you, because you are too busy measuring your unfinished story against someone else's highlight reel. Habit 7. Ending your morning without ever actually speaking to God. This is the final habit, and it is the quiet root beneath all the others. Many Christians have a morning routine full of good things: coffee brewing, a short workout, even scripture reading squeezed in between getting dressed and finding car keys, and still manage to never actually speak to God directly. Reading about Him while rushing out the door is not the same as talking to Him and waiting for a response. Matthew 6 verse 33 says, "Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." Seek first, not read first, not plan first, seek. I think of a woman I know who read her Bible faithfully every single morning, sometimes highlighting verses, sometimes writing notes in the margins, but admitted to me one day that she could not remember the last time she had simply talked to God like He was actually listening in the room with her. Her habits looked spiritual. Her heart had gone quiet. And a quiet heart, no matter how disciplined the routine around it, cannot receive what only relationship can carry. None of these 7 habits are unforgivable. God is not waiting to punish you for how you wake up, but He has been waiting for you to notice that the first minutes of your day are not neutral ground. They are the doorway through which blessing either enters freely or gets quietly delayed by habits you never thought to examine. Habits as ordinary as reaching for your phone or replaying yesterday's argument in your head while you brush your teeth. The good news is that every single one of these can change starting tomorrow morning. Not through willpower, but through awareness and a simple decision to give God what belongs to Him first. Matthew 6 verse 33 is not just a verse to memorize. It is an invitation to experience mornings the way God intended them. Unhurried, unafraid, and unblocked. Tomorrow, before the phone, before the group chat, before the anxiety has a chance to speak first, give God 5 honest minutes. Thank Him before anything noteworthy has happened. Bring your decisions to Him before you act on them. Let yesterday's mercy replace yesterday's failure. And watch what begins to shift, not because the day changed, but because you finally stopped standing in the way of your own blessing. If this message has revealed something to you today, I want you to do one thing right now. Write in the comments, "Lord, unblock my mornings." That is a declaration, and God honors it. And if you know someone whose mornings need this message, someone who scrolls before they pray or rehearses yesterday's mistakes before receiving today's mercy, share this video with them today. Could be the word that changes what they reach for first tomorrow morning. Do not forget to subscribe so we can keep growing together in biblical wisdom every single week. God bless you deeply, my brother, my sister. Until next time.